What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I'll put it up. Thank you everybody for supporting. But this video though, this video is entitled How the Me Too movement can affect male content creators. So I'm not saying no names or nothing. So I looked at a brother's video and it was talking about swirling. And basically it couldn't get flagged and taken off, but it had a whole little spiel on it that you had to click to say you was old enough to watch it. Because they were talking about swirlers. Weren't disparaging swirlers, weren't talking bad about them, just pointing out some things. But what I did was I read the guidelines of why, the video had to go through all these extra shenanigans to watch it. And it was because it's lumped in with MGTOW. And saying something to swirlers is a designated term for women, particularly black women who date white men. That's what the women who coined swirling and wrote the book on it came up with. That's what it was. But I was reading the guidelines, and in the guidelines, I've already spoken about it. We've talked about it that they look at MGTOW as in the same light as a terrorist organization. But here's the problem: talking about the opposite sex is equated to terrorism. So, as a backlash for the quote unquote Me Too movement. So now women can talk about men, or women can disparage men, because part of the terrorist guidelines was, your rhetoric, your group must maybe has done something violent, so that'll get you X'd out. You can't create content if it's violent or you've done something violent against the opposite sex or terroristic, or make a terroristic threat. But also, if they, you monitor just in case your rhetoric could be taken as a dog whistle for violence to the opposite sex, I'm guessing, right? And so you can't say anything about women, I guess, or have a title designated at women if you're a man, even if it's a title that they came up with themselves. So you can't talk to them, because that could technically, that's in the realm of terrorism. And I'm like, we're gonna keep going with this though. Just hear me out. Now, you do realize, but see, it can't be looked at the other way, because there's no way that women can terrorize men. It's not like so women can say whatever, I guess, even do whatever. It won't be looked at as terrorism, because it will be women attacking men, but it's not terroristic because women can't be terrorists. So in theory, it's just designated at men. And there was another YouTuber who said he could have made more money, but people have linked him with other people, and because of his kind of YouTube connection to other guys that I guess the people at YouTube don't like or think negatively of, it kills his brand. So he doesn't have to be quote unquote in the area of the guys. He just has to know the guys. He's if he agrees with a video or some content or content creator or some of the thing or some of what a content creator says or a premise of a message, and he does something in a totally different genre, now he's excommunicado. I just can't wait to see John Wick. I like when he says excommunicado. So bear with me. But that's the thing. So now, if you can be viewed as talking to women can be viewed definitely as bashing, but more so as low-key terrorism now, and people who have associated with people who could be assumed to be low-key terrorists, even if their message isn't really, it's just a differing opinion, not a violent opinion, not an abrasive opinion, just a different point of view. But obviously, you know, if a man talks, you know, about an issue that as a man may affect him as a man, that comes from a that he may have to deal with from dealing with a woman, kind of terrorism. Okay, I don't get it, but and then when the guys say stuff like, this is why guys are not trying to talk to people, they say, why don't you talk to me? Well, I can't talk to you because now, you know, I'm Bin Laden. So I'm like, okay, and his, you know, his subscribers and sometimes commenters can't talk to you too because they're technically a friend of Bin Laden. Okay, it's like, this is a consequence, right? These are ways that the Me Too movement affects male content creators, right? Now, here's the thing. Ironically, there was an act of violence at the YouTube headquarters. There was a shooting last year. A woman walked into YouTube and started shooting people. Now, so with all of the violent rhetoric that the men were spewing, and all of the non-violent rhetoric when men were stating their thoughts and opinions, it wasn't men shooting up the headquarters. But, you know, the men are the terrorists. I don't understand that. I mean, because that directly affected YouTube. But whatever. Now, some of the weird part about it is, you know, this whole a year and a half, 2 years ago, some women put out a hit list of black male YouTube content creators to get rid of. Now they had a backlash from that, but that's not. I mean, the men didn't create a hit list. And men didn't create a hit list to get rid of men online or women online, and a man didn't go to YouTube and shoot up the joint. But because, you know, but since the Me Too movement is also affecting, it's not going to affect female content creators like that. See, so they could say whatever they want about men, whether it's right or wrong. You know, they can technically they could just bash men to death. And you got to remember. I remember some time ago they hired new people, and the head of the operations was a woman. So the irony of it is, you know, she's in a position of quote unquote power, and using that position to wield that power to basically take free speech from guys in particular who may or may not say something towards a woman. Because, you know, and the reason I say may or may not, because some of the topics that they don't get flagged, but they need to get reviewed, are ridiculous. Like I could show you, like I'll name some. I have some videos that actually recently got that little yellow mark of it has to be reviewed, right? And last 5 of them. The benefits of being busy. That needs to be reviewed. You know, it might not be good for advertisers. You know, will global economics affect racism? Don't let anger control you. Needs to be, it might, advertisers might not like that. Black men don't have to prove our humanity. And just so y'all know I'm not lying, you see, like, you see how close, you see that? It's yellow. You see that? So all of them are like this. You know, black men are accustomed to adversity. You see that? So just so you pay, just so you see what I'm talking about. Now, being a black man could be looked at as terroristic. Stop putting yourself in dangerous situations. You see that? And, you know, technically it could be looked at as because, you know, maybe he's pseudo trying to attack women. I don't know why. That's actually not what I'm doing. But the reason I said it for me is because here's the thing. I know some of these people, if they have these issues and I know who they are and they know who I am, then that means the people who are doing all of this work to censor their videos the minute they come out, they're probably doing the same thing to me, but I have a lower subscriber count. You dig? So, and all of this is for me too. And the same thing happened when PewDiePie wanted to put up the Nazi propaganda and had the advertisers crisis with advertisers said we ain't with it, and then everybody had to pay. So right now everybody doesn't have to pay, just the men have to pay. So if the pendulum swings, then what? You gonna, any content creator who talks about men are they gonna start being watched and technically be terrorists? That's not gonna happen. But this is, you know, part of what's going on. Just in my opinion. We out. Peace.